Hey folks, Jordan with TYT Politics. It is Friday. Hope you're having a good week and we'll have a good weekend. Unfortunately, it is not good news. The President Trump overnight fired off 59 Tomahawk missiles on Syria, going against his previous position not to get involved in the Syrian civil war, that not to focus on America and not go bombing and intervening all over the world. That was one thing that progressives, war-weary Americans liked about Trump. His tone over the campaign was, "We need to stop focusing on spreading democracy all around the world. We need to focus on building airports here and hospitals here and fixing the roads here and focusing on America." I kind of thought it was BS then, and now it's proving that it's BS. But we'll get to Trump in a minute. But some of our old favorites have come out of hiding now, cheering on what President Trump is doing. Hillary Clinton, who, I have every last troll in America and sometimes around the world blaming me for electing President Trump, calling me an agent of the Kremlin, that I am a Russian stooge, and all this. Basically, Hillary Clinton, no fault. It wasn't her fault at all that she lost the election. It was Jordan's fault. It was Glenn Greenwald's fault. It was Michael Tracy's fault. It was Kyle Koliniski's fault. Everybody's fault but the candidate and the Democratic Party. I digress. But as you know, I felt that Trump is a wild card. We don't know what he was going to do as president in terms of foreign policy. Sometimes he said, we're going to bomb the shit out of it. And sometimes he said, to hell with the rest of the world. I'm tired of spending all of his money. $6 trillion in the last 15 years. $6 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan on the continual, endless war machine. You know how many schools could be built with $6 trillion? How many hospitals could be built with $6 trillion? How many people can get free public college tuition? How many people can get single payer with $6 trillion? So Trump put all these neocons in his administration. A few days ago, he removed Steve Bannon from the National Security Council. Steve Bannon, the anti-Semite, the racist, the white nationalist. The only good thing about Steve Bannon is he's anti-intervention, and he does not want us putting our fingers and toes in every single country around the world. Well, he's now off the National Security Committee. Oh yeah, Jimmy Dore has been blamed too. Can't forget Jimmy. So I thought, all right, Trump, maybe a little bit of a risk. We don't know what he's going to do, but at least he's talking with a little populism and anti-interventionism. Whereas Hillary Clinton, we know what Hillary Clinton's going to do. She tried to get Obama to do this exact thing that just happened overnight, bombing Syrian airfields years ago. From the New York Times, a great, great story. If you have a half hour, it's long, read it. How Hillary became a hawk. This passage: she supported the Pentagon's plan to leave behind a residual force of 10,000 to 20,000 American troops in Iraq. Obama balked at this largely because of his inability to win legal protections from the Iraqis, a failure that was to haunt him when the Islamic State overran much of the country. And she pressured for the United States to funnel arms to the rebels in Syria's civil war, an idea Obama initially rebuffed before half-heartedly coming around to it. So, does this ring a bell to you? Let's see. What country did we decide we're going to try to topple the dictator in that country, and we're going to insert opposition forces, rebels, and we're going to fund the rebels, we're going to weaponize the rebels, because they'll be a lot better than their dictator. Can I hear Libya? Can I hear Libya, folks? So Hillary Clinton convinced Obama to funnel arms to the rebels in Syria's civil war, an idea Obama initially rebuffed, which he was correct not to do, before later half-heartedly coming around to it. This is what we do. So in Iraq, Saddam Hussein, which had nothing to do with 9/11, we got to take out Saddam Hussein, which Hillary Clinton cheered on. So we're gonna go to war. We're gonna insert ground troops. We're going to kill 4,000 American soldiers, hundreds of thousands of Iraqi civilians, and then we're going to insert our own chosen official or president or leader. That worked out wonderfully. Iraq is very destabilized. Now, 14 years later. Then we did the same thing in Libya. We got to take out Assad. He's a genocidal, not Assad, Gaddafi. He's a genocidal maniac. Oh, Libya is a disaster, and terrorists and jihadists have overtaken in Libya. So let me play you what Hillary Clinton had to say about Syria.
Did promote a no-fly zone, and I still believe we should have done a no-fly zone. I think we should have been more willing to confront Assad, because remember, the Russians didn't get in at first. And the Iranian help was pretty much on the ground with the so-called, Revolutionary Guard, Quds Force. And they were, enlisting Hezbollah units to fight on the ground because there was a real fight going on. But Assad had an air force, and that air force is the cause of most of the civilian deaths, as we have seen over the years and as we saw again in the last few days. And I really believe that we should have and still should take out his airfields and prevent him from being able to use them to bomb innocent people and drop sarin gas on them.
So that was Hillary Clinton last night. So she's out of hiding, folks. She's out of hiding. And people might be saying, Jordan, why are you taking on poor Hillary? You should be attacking Trump. Oh, trust me, I've got words for Trump, if you haven't already heard. I think this is a demonstrably awful decision. I think it has potential to cause a world war. I agree with trying to help Syria in terms of civilians, children, women being gassed to death. I don't think this is how you do it. You get together a coalition of many countries to do something, not the United States having to lead and the United States bearing the bill and the eventual body count, because we've learned nothing from history, right? So Hillary Clinton, what she just proposed, is essentially creating World War III. So let's look at it. We go in, we bomb the hell out of Syrian airfields, which, by the way, there are Russia, which is one of Syria's closest allies, has their own military jets in Syria. Apparently, Trump called Russia, or Trump administration called Russia and gave them the heads up, we're doing this. So apparently, so Russia might be able to move its jets. I don't know how that worked. However, what is bombing the hell out of Syria going to do? You're antagonizing another nuclear power, Russia, who has is an ally of Syria. They have a very close ties in terms of weapons distribution, as well as oil. So you mess with Syria, you're messing with Russia, right? And by the way, the corporate Democrats who have been drumming up this hysteria for months that Trump is an agent of the Kremlin and we're all stooges of the Kremlin and Trump's a puppet for Vladimir Putin. Yeah, Trump just bombed the shit out of Russia's closest ally. How's that working out for you, corporate Democrats? How's that talking point? I'm not defending Trump. I don't agree with what he just did. But if he was a puppet for Vladimir Putin, why would he then go in and bomb the hell out of Vladimir Putin's closest ally? Does that make any sense? So the hysteria for the last 6 to 7 months that Trump and his administration, they're in collusion and they're working together and la 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 la. How's that working out? Yes, Russia is the reason Hillary Clinton lost the election. And Trump is really a Manchurian candidate working for Russia. So, all right, we're going to bomb the hell out of Syria. We're going to try to overthrow Assad to put in rebels who are the rebels in the Syrian opposition to Assad, which, by the way, Assad has essentially won the war against the rebels. But we're going to topple Assad. We're going to take him out. We're going to insert rebels who are jihadists, some of them Al-Qaeda, and they're going to take over in Syria because they're going to be a lot better to the Syrian people, jihadists and Al-Qaeda. That makes a lot of sense. I'm liking this policy. And as we know, it's usually just slam bam, thank you ma'am. You know, you meet a girl at the bar or you meet a guy at the bar, good chemistry, you go up, you have a cocktail or two, hey, you know, my apartment's around the block. And then you have a good night together in the morning, oh my God, what did I do? We're gone, never see them again. That's how these types of things usually work with the United States. We're just going to bomb the hell out of Syria now. 59 Tomahawk missiles. By the way, this decision was not strategic at all. It was decided in the span of 2 days. Which tells me that Trump is not making decisions here. He is listening to the neocons he's appointed around him, like Defense Secretary General Mattis. And by the way, the CEO of ExxonMobil is a Secretary of State. The CEO of ExxonMobil, who everybody has suggested, is also a Kremlin agent. And trust me, it is not for me to defend anything with ExxonMobil or Rex Tillerson. But is he a Kremlin agent? He supported doing this. But this isn't like a slam bam, thank you, ma'am. We're not going to just bomb once and be like, oh, that's it. No, expect more of this. Expect more bombs. I think they'll call them special advisors. There'll be special advisors that we send in, i.e. American ground troops. And we're going to try to topple Assad, and in his place, we'll put jihadists, we'll put Al-Qaeda members. And yeah, Russia's just going to sit by and do nothing about that. Yeah, no. You could topple our biggest ally, the president, who we work with in terms of distributing weapons, oil. Yeah. Put in whoever you want, no problem. Vladimir Putin will say, when should we go for lunch? And ironically, this action happened on the anniversary of World War I, the 100-year anniversary. And I want to be clear, folks, because I know that there is honest and fair critique where people would say, well, Jordan, do you care about children being gassed to death? Do you care about innocent women and children and Syrian civilians being gassed? Of course I do. Of course I do. This isn't about, and by the way, all joking aside, I'm not a religious man, but I am Jewish. I've studied the Holocaust, so I do believe America has a role around the world to help, particularly if there's genocide going on, because we would want that for ourselves. I do believe on do unto others as you would want to do unto your own. My point is, the way to help other countries dealing with genocide is not to start a war that we are going to bear the brunt, that we are going to be bearing the bill, the body count. That's not the way to do it. You build a coalition. If there was one good thing about Obama, the droning and all that stuff was not good. But at least he tried to build coalitions. And not unilaterally have America lead. And bear all the cost, the body count. Folks, what Hillary Clinton is cheering on, what all the neocons are cheering on, is a very, very dangerous thing. And that's a big reason why I covered her critically. Because the corporate media had no problem with her neocon warmongering ways. They have no problem with it, because corporate media, guess what? You know when ratings go up for CNN and Fox News? War. Do I think Jeff Zucker and the people at Fox News and MSNBC knowingly and consciously would say, "Oh, to hell with American citizens or soldiers as long as we get ratings"? No, I don't think that. But I don't think they mind the ratings that come in. And by the way, I will be doing a separate video on TYT Politics Facebook right after this. TYT Politics Facebook, I will be doing a video on the media and the Iraq war deja vu that is currently going on among the media. You see any anti-war voices on cable news or in print right now on this Syrian war? No, I haven't seen one yet this morning, an anti-war voice saying this is a bad idea. Certainly didn't see that in the build-up to Iraq. So head over to TYT Politics Facebook. I'll be going live in about 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.